Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. And before I do my review of Stargirl episode 8, season 3, I do want to say congratulations to Brett Bassinger, who won the best performance by a young actor at the cable network series for DC Stargirl, the Saturn Awards. So I just wanted to say well done for her. You can actually see the video of her accepting the award on this channel. I'll leave that in the link after this video. It really is something of a proud moment for most of us. And I really do hope that she goes on and has an outstanding career. We kick this off, guys, by seeing Pat and the Shade struggling in the Shadowlands. First, they can't leave. They try to leave, but then the Shade realizes that he's actually not strong enough for them to break the barriers, which is in the old cinema that we saw from last season. But they encounter illusions of their problems in their lives, and that's the end of Gambler, obviously, who's not here anymore. And then the Shade is taunted over his decision to ignore his dying sister Emily. And then Pat is tortured over his strange relationship with his father and Mike. And I found that really interesting. And this is important because Mike was saying in season 1 that Pat has not spent any time with him, and we went through all of that stuff that he was going through, and none of it has really been paid off. I mean, sure, Mike is growing up now and he's got a best friend in Jakeem, which takes his mind off his father and off the JSA. But the problems actually are still there, that Pat is spending more time with Courtney and he's mentoring her and he's teaching her and he's doing all these different things, and he's still not really in Mike's life in terms of what a father would do with a son, you know, taking you to ball games, playing basketball with you at the back of the house and all of that stuff, playing ball and all that. I think it was important for them to show us that this is potentially a psychological problem that Pat hasn't really dealt with. And I'm not sure about the father. I can't really talk too tough about the father because that's pretty much new to us. But I thought the stuff with Mike was very relevant to what we're dealing with in the show right now. So I guess all of you guys are talking about the ending scene where we saw the mysterious hooded person, and it can't be a new character. And the reason why it can't be a new character is because why would we care that this person is spying on everybody when we don't even know who it is? So it has to be someone that we know or knew. In other words, an ex-ISA member or an ex-JSA member, someone like the Dragon King or the original Hourman. Remember, Hourman is the name of 3 different superheroes, not 2. The first Hourman is the chemist Rex Tyler, who created the new synthesis Miracalo. The second Hourman is Rex Tyler's son, who took over the mantle of Hourman in Crisis of Infinite Earths. And then in the 853rd century, another Hourman, who was an android, was modelled on Rex Tyler's DNA, served with both the Justice League and the Justice Society for a short time. Now, I'm not saying that this is an android, far from it, but I'm saying it could be a clone of some sorts. Now, he had a time ship in the comics that he could summon from the time stream, and it's connected to him and it reacts to his thoughts and all these different things. Yes, guys, I know this is a deep cut from the comic books, but it doesn't really work on the series, so I doubt that they would do this. Outside of that, I'm pretty much out of ideas who that person could be. But all this does, guys, is show us that the show is working. All we wanted was a good mystery, and guess what? We've got one. Now, back to most of the fun in this episode, the Helix Institute, which felt like a backdoor to a pilot for a new Infinity Inc. team. Now, maybe it's a whole lot of setup for a new series that we may never get to see. So I guess the question that we need to ask ourselves is, why did they do this? Because there's been so many changes with Warner Brothers and the new CW owners that I'm surprised that they already haven't cancelled Stargirl as a whole, let alone have a new pilot run alongside it. So look, we're going to have to really wait. There's either 2 ways it can go. They can extend Stargirl to season 4 and then start this new spin-off, or have them more involved in season 4 as another team. Or, as the new CW has done with many of the shows, just end up cancelling them, which is what we don't want. The frustration for us is some of the shows that were cancelled, we thought that HBO Max might have picked up a couple, and that's not happened. None of that has happened. So, yes, we live in fear, but let's enjoy it while we've got it. Now, Courtney and Jenny at the Helix Institute try to power down Todd from his obsidian form. Now, this is where we see the potential of the new teams. Now, I'm going to go through them one by one so you guys know exactly who they are. Most of you comic readers know them already. Now, it's Tayo Jones, Penny Dreadful, and an unseen Kataro, which is the Man Shark. Now, all of whom in the comics were part of the supervillain team named Helix. Now, Penny Dreadful, when we know her from the TV shows, she can absorb energy and release it as powerful blasts. Her body is not simply a conductor, though. It considerably enhances the power of the current that flows through her. Taya Jones, she has the ability to generate a force field and reflective energy that doesn't stop attacks, but redirects them. And she's also sitting with the dog Critter. What a great Easter egg. A scientific genius able to design several complicated pieces of electromagnetic equipment. He resembles a large dog due to his mutated form, though. Highly intelligent, super agile, berserker strength, super smell, and technopathy as well. I really did like this Easter egg that they threw in there. The other one, of course, which I talked about, was the Shark Boy. We didn't really see him. For some reason, they left that one shot, obviously, because it's probably going to cost a lot of money to do the CGI. But after his mother was experimented on during pregnancy by the insane Dr. Love, Kakero is a shark-like monster, superhumanly fast, telepathy, strong, tough, has all the kind of shark-like abilities. Here's a fun fact, though. His cousin in the comics is Yolanda Montez. Isn't that weird? But yet he died when he tried to eat Mr. Bones, but not before biting off Mr. Bones' leg. So that's a nice little tidbit there from the comics. Now Jenny ends up in a power dampening cell, while Courtney comes into the office of Nurse Love. And this is here we see Courtney sort of give her Naruto talk no jutsu type skills and convinces Nurse Love to give her a chance to have Jenny calm her brother down, which of course works. But Mr. Bones himself, this is where we see him enter the fray, and he explains how, having been born with translucent skin and what got dubbed the cyanide touch that killed his own mother, he sees the Institute as a way to teach people with similar isolating powers to live alone. So look at him in this way like a Professor Xavier, yeah? Someone who just wants to help kids struggle with their abilities. But Courtney and Jenny end up saving Todd, and it makes Mr. Bones think that maybe he shouldn't lock up the kids, and maybe he should let them roam free as a team. Now when Todd and Jenny hug, he's freed from the madness, which also frees up Pat and the Shade from the Shadowlands. Now, once they come back, Pat convinces Swift to serve as a mentor of sorts to Todd and Jenny, teaching the Green Lanterns Alan Scott's kids to fine-tune their respective powers, and the twins agree. I like the way the Shade that doesn't want to do it, but in truth, he really does. You have to think to yourself, guys, he's 180 years old, and he hasn't really helped anyone but himself in all that time. So you got to think, he has no family, and nobody really cares or misses him. And that's got a weight on a man's heart. So I think the Shade, now being a mentor to Todd, he leaves with Jenny for New York, I think that's something that he wants to really do because he knows it might pay off for him emotionally. And that's a step that he's willing to take. But they're off in search to see Sandy Hawkins, who has prosthetic nightmares, and she helped Jenny find Todd. As you all know, Sandy Hawkins is the eventual successor to the mentor of Wesley Dodds as Sandman. Not the Sandman DC, but the Golden Age superhero version, you know, the one with the gas gun. Here's a little Easter egg though. In Legends of Tomorrow, remember his mask was in Rip Hunter's office. So guys, as I said, I really thought this episode needed to be done to kind of settle the ship for them to move on to the next stage. I give this episode a 7.3 out of 10. And at the end of it, we saw the camera on the high street slip down into the sewers in that room full of monitors. And that's where we see the caped figure throw his fist into a screen. And it looks like a hooded version of his father, the original Hourman, or as I said before this, the Dragon King. Really strange one, guys. I'm not really sure what to think of it, but as I said, this is the mystery that we've all been begging for, and it's what we've got. So credit to the writers. I mean, you've really given us something to get our teeth into. And most of us, including myself, are pretty much stuck in terms of who the killer really is. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how this goes. So let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. And as always, guys, I speak to you in the next one. Peace out.